All right, my dears, we are going to paint our papers today for our Martin Luther King project. We haven't painted much in art yet this year, so I am gonna go through a couple secrets of the trade for you. We are going to paint the entire thing. Now I call them magic tables here in the art room, where the watercolor paints that we are using are not going to stick onto the table, so we can clean those up easy. So we can paint all the way on the edge of the table, edge of the paper to the table, it's okay. We hold our paintbrush down by the bristles. We do not hold it way back here. We hold it close to the bristles. So that way we can have as much control as possible. On this project, we are going to paint the entire thing. It is not going to be a picture because we are going to print over it for our Martin Luther King free word. So I have wet my temper cakes a little bit. I am going to paint just however we want to. I don't use the metal, I use the hair on it, using as much paint as I want. Now when I switch colors, I squish, squish, squish on the bottom, and then I rub it around the edge. If you tap, 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 the paint goes everywhere. We don't want the paint everywhere. My friends across from me don't want paint on their project, so I don't tap, tap, tap. So I'm just painting, then I squish, 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 rub the edge of my water, get my next color. And since I am going right next to each other, I use colors that will mix well together. So green and yellow look good together. Orange and green do not. So that's why I have a barrier between the edge of my orange and my yellow. Now the rest of my colors, red and pink, will go together, so it doesn't matter if they touch. So squish, squish, and then I change my color. This one kind of is going in stripes. It doesn't matter if you stripe it or if you blob it. It doesn't matter at all. So making sure my whole paper is colored. It's okay to get it on the edges. Now this one, we're gonna add a little salt to all those puddles to soak it up and give it some texture. So I'm gonna go over the first color a little bit to get some more puddles. I'm gonna take my salt and I am just sprinkling it over my picture. And where that salt is, it will soak up some of the water and add texture to my painting. And that's all there is to painting. Make sure every spot is colored. We're not doing pictures. Have fun, but don't make too big of a mess. Make just a little bit of a mess. Okay, my dears, for the next part of the project, we are going to print. When we print, we have the mirror image of something, which means we have to draw backwards for our letters, because when we print, it will print forward. So I have these papers for us with the backwards letters already printed for you. You are going to put that letter in the middle of your foam, and then you are going to draw right over this letter that I already made for you. The best way to do this is just to press pretty hard along this letter with a pencil that is not too sharp. Try not to move the paper around too much. And anywhere you press hard, it will show through. So I went on all those black lines Now I'm going to do the middle one here. Okay, and you probably can't tell, but this is the line that showed up. And I'm just gonna do it again for you so you can see where my letter is. And that should look like a backwards R. Okay, you're gonna do it again for the F. Try and center it. Okay, trace over it. And then I'll just trace it again to make sure it's all pressed down. Now you have two options. You can leave it like this, or you can cut it out. If you leave it like this, that's all you have to do for right now. If you want to cut it out, you can just use our regular scissors and cut it out. If you want them all to be cut out, that's fine. You just have to cut out the F-R-E. If you want some of them cut out and some of them not, I like to do 2 letters diagonal from each other, cut out, and 2 letters not cut out. So the F is cut out, the R is not cut out. I'm going to do 1 E cut out and 1 E normal. If they are both gonna be cut out, you only need to cut out 1. If they are both gonna have the outside, then you only have to do 1, because we can print over and over and over again, which is the awesome part of printing. If you want 1 cut out and 1 like this, you may do that, but you have to do 2 of them then. So if I go like this, this goes like this, F-R-E, and I'm gonna cut this one out. Okay, so my F and my E will have colored backgrounds. My R and my E will have black backgrounds. So now we're going to print. I have my paper that I made last week. I have rubbed as much of the salt off of it as possible. Now we're going to actually do a print. All right, my dears, we are going to print today. So what we have is our letters. I'm gonna start with my R. What I am going to do is I'm gonna take this ink and I am putting it all over this brayer, the roller. Then I wanna make sure all my ink is all over my R. And once it's all over that letter, I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna carefully grab this. Try not to get my fingers on it. Woohoo! And then I am going to put it in this corner. Try not to move it. Once I have it down, then I'm gonna take my foam roller, my squeaky roller, pressing down all the way. Then when I pull it up, hopefully it's the right direction and it prints nicely. This is where all my salt was, so it didn't print all the way right there because it has that salt on it. So there is my R, and this is the one that I did backwards last time, so let's try and do it correctly this time. I'm gonna take off some of the salt that's still on there. Okay. Roll it, roll it, roll it. Okay. So when I print this, it needs to go the three. These 1, 2, 3 need to go that way. So I need to make sure I can see it a little bit right here. I need to make sure that is printed the correct way. Put it down and then roll it. Then when I pick it up, ta-da! Okay, and then 2 more letters. F. Backwards when I put ink on it, forwards when I put it down. Again, that's where my salt was. And then another tricky one, because the E can go backwards even when it looks forwards. Because right now it looks forwards. It should be backwards. Okay, so now I need to make sure these 3 go that direction. So once it's all lined up, put it down, roll it, try not to move it. Pick it back up. Ta-da! There's my beautiful free word. Good luck.